Thanks for having me.
So, yes, we're here because of some movie that you did.
Yeah. Cool, man. I'm pleased to hear some of you have seen it. I'm amazed. I travel half around the world and you guys actually recognise me. It's very surreal.
The character you play, what's his name again?
It's not Harry Potter.
Draco Malfoy?
Something like that. Thank you. Wow, the support for Draco. I'm surprised. Usually I just get booed, man. I've been booed off stages before. This is good. I'm getting a warm reception. I like this.
Definitely a warm reception.
I have nothing. I don't know what to say to that, man. Thank you, I guess. Awesome.
So you've been here for a little bit. How are you finding Dragoncon?
This is a completely new experience for me. I live a world away from any of this, so it's amazing, man. It's like one of the only places I've ever been where there is no line to cross. You can just as long as you're comfortable in your own skin, then have a good time. It's great. I'm loving it. And the people are so friendly. I haven't seen one miserable face yet. So as long as you guys are having a great time, then it seems to be a good deal. And you seem to be having fun.
So a lot of people, of course, know quite a bit about you. You'd probably be a little surprised.
Okay, be careful, man.
But I would like to know, and many other people might want to have a little more information on how you got started as Draco Malfoy. How did that process happen?
Well, it was a long time ago now, obviously. I remember vividly going for auditions for Harry. There was open casting in the UK, so they had pretty much every kid in the country coming in to audition. I got through the first few auditions for Harry. They dyed my hair brown. They gave me a set of spectacles and put a scar on my forehead, which was fun. And then for Ron, they dyed my hair ginger. Hermione, they just said it never worked out. And then finally, they dyed my hair blonde, and that was the look they went for. So I was forever crowned the evil one. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that. I kind of like it too. I'm glad I ended up with Draco, not the other two. So it's a lot more fun, I feel. And that was about it. Yeah, I mean, Chris Columbus and I did plenty of auditions, screen tests and such. I remember actually one of my very first auditions, I had Emma Watson standing next to me. It was one of her first auditions as well. And it was very surreal, but I came back 4 weeks later, she had been cast as Hermione. We were doing some screen tests with her, so it was kind of cool. We were actually one of the first auditions. And I confess, I was probably the only kid throughout the whole auditioning process who had never heard of Harry Potter. I didn't have a clue what was going on, and I know. I got a lot of grief for that one, yeah. But there was a whole line of us, and they kept asking each kid, like, what scene are you most looking forward to seeing from the book turned into the film? And I quickly realised, oh my god, I don't have a clue. So the guy next to me was like, Gringotts and goblins and stuff, and I was just like, yeah, man. Gringotts and goblins, I love it. I think Chris Columbus saw straight through me, but it made him laugh, so it's kind of cool.
So how did things change for you? I mean, you went into this audition, and you were obviously cast as Draco. So how did things change for you after the first film came out?
It wasn't that much of a change, I guess. No one really knew quite what we were getting ourselves into, as far as we never knew that 10 years later we were still going to be here, doing more. So there was a rumor, I think, towards the end of the first one that there could possibly be a second, depending on the success of the first. And I think the opening weekend of the first one pretty much confirmed there was going to be a second. So yeah, we were over the moon. I was so excited. I thought they were going to come back and do some more. And every year we come back, we've had more fun, and it's been such an incredible journey, man. None of us take it for granted. We promise. Every year we come back and we count our blessings, and we're eternally grateful for it. It's nice actually, because every day we have people come down to the set, and they're all wide-eyed and looking at all the sets and stuff. So it's a constant reminder for us how very lucky we are to be working where we are.
Now let's fast forward a bit.
Okay.
You talked about your early days. What about after the release of this latest installment?
Yeah.
How have things changed for you now?
Things have changed quite a bit, actually. Yeah. blonde hair is getting quite a beacon of recognition. It seems to attract Harry Potter fans. I can't even drive actually. I'm driving these days. I'm just driving along and I look left and there's some guy with a video camera in the car next to me. So yeah, it's
Draco Malfoy's evil, he causes car accidents.
This is it, yeah. I'm just worried about it, yeah. It was kind of strange because we were all expecting the film to be out in November, of course, which was like still 8 months after we'd finished filming it. And then we were told it was going to be delayed by another 8 months or whatever it was, and I was like, oh man, I wanted to see it. I hadn't seen any of it. I make a point.
You were not alone.
Yeah, I'm sure. I make a point of not seeing any of the takes or any pre-footage. I want to see it when it's finished. So I still hadn't seen any of it. So I was so excited and nervous really to see how it was. And every year we always think that the hype's going to die down a bit, and this is going to be possibly the last year that it's as big as it is. But every year you guys come out in your numbers and support us endlessly. I speak on behalf of the whole cast and crew. I'm here representing everyone when I say a big thank you to everyone who supported the films, because we certainly wouldn't be making them if it wasn't for you guys. So I'm thanking you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much.
Definitely was. So, have you decided what perhaps might be your favorite scene from this latest movie, for instance? We can start there.
Yeah, there was some great scenes. I loved the opportunity to work with some of the great British actors one-on-one. It's very nervous for a young actor to be within the presence of these people. Usually, I'm just sort of hovering in the background, looking miserable. So that was quite easy. Returning dialogue off them isn't so easy. So that was always good fun when we completed that. But stamping on Harry's nose was pretty good. I've been waiting years to do that. And I know when we got into the bathroom, Daniel and I were very excited to kick each other's asses. And it was really cool without shattering the illusion too much. When we do our spells, generally nothing actually happens. They add it all in later. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't want to ruin anything. But in this bathroom scene, they rigged the whole thing up with these pyrotechnicians. So every time we did Expelliarmus or whatever, the toilet would blow up. So it was very satisfying. Finally, it felt like we had something, deadly in our hands. So, yeah. We had a lot of fun with that. Even though I lost the fight, we still had, we had a lot of fun. We were supposed to be in there for 3 days, and me and Daniel stretched it out to about 2 weeks, I think.
So what else do you actually do? Because, we all know, yes, this is Draco Malfoy. He shows up every movie and does an amazing job, and we love him. But what do you do when you're not being Draco?
Well, for one, I spend 99% of the day probably off the set, so I spend most of my day as Tom, not Draco. I've killed the last 2 years pretty much off set with a guitar. Yeah, it's really nice to have something there that you can just, you can really kill some hours with that thing. And I love to read, I love to write, I love to listen to music, and there's a great group of people at the studio. It's not just the cast, but the crew as well. We've grown up with most of them, which is a real lucky experience. They've seen us come from 12 to 21 now, and it used to be a big, child-friendly set, no swearing, no lewd remarks or anything like that. Whereas nowadays it's a bit better now. It's kind of good. It's a lot more fun these days.
So who do you tend to find you have the most on-screen chemistry with, as far as you're concerned?
Daniel and I have a good, really good rapport. It's not easy, man, because over the last couple of years we've grown quite ironically really good friends, and now without giving too much away, whenever we have very close scenes with each other where we have to sort of stare each other in the eye, I look at his eyebrow, not his eye, because if I catch a glimpse of a smile, then that's it, man. In photo shoots, we're useless together, because that's why they do all our shots separately, I think, because we just end up smiling at each other, and that's not really the look they were going for. Yeah, quite ironically, Daniel, I think.
Because you had a really dramatic scene when you were essentially kicked out at the slug party, and you were thrown up against the wall. No. All right, Megan. Calm down. What was it like working with Alan Rickman?
Terrifying, yeah. He's a very cool guy, but he's very, he speaks very slowly. But he's misunderstood very much. A lot of people think that he could be, slightly dry and not the most, humorous guy, but you'd be very wrong. He's one of the funniest guys on set. He has a very, very witty sense of humor. I remember once we were doing a night shoot and it was about 3 a.m. This was towards the very end of the film. We were outside and Snape and Harry are having their little battle at the end, and he was standing there like he does, very, very solemn. And I thought I'd sort of, try and break the ice and be like, "You alright, Alan? How you doing? You feeling okay?" And he sort of, does this thing where he pretends not to hear you for 10 seconds, and he turned his head very slowly and just said, "I've peaked." And that was it. And I think, and no one knows whether to laugh or not. It's sort of, okay, Alan, okay, but he is incredibly witty, and he doesn't need any introduction as a fantastic actor. It's great to do a scene with him one-on-one, and again, I was very nervous, but if he's not critiquing you and he's saying, that was good, then I'm over the moon. So yeah, I was very grateful for that.
I'd take that too. So you've told us a little bit about some of the on-set interaction. What are some of those stories that we don't get to hear about all the time? Some of the amusing things. I understand there are some definite pranksters.
Oh yeah, Daniel was one of the biggest. Yeah, he brings a great sense of enthusiasm to the set. Whenever spirits are low, he brings them straight back up again. Again, Alan is a constant source of entertainment as well. We had a very interesting scene with after the demise of Dumbledore. Sorry if none of you have seen it.
There could be spoilers.
Sorry. We're sort of walking down the Great Hall in this sort of V-wing, like goose formation, and he's the sort of lead goose, if you will. And he has this, this 3-meter long wedding cape style thing that hangs off his neck, and naturally it drapes quite a while behind his feet. And the director was very keen for us to, stay very close behind him, so it sort of looks like we're a very sort of strong formation. And before we started the shooting, he again turned to us in his very solemn way and said, "Don't step on my effing cloak." It's like, fair enough. And again, we didn't know whether that was joking or not. It's just being the Deathly Hallows. We were like, okay. Sod's law, second take, straight on his cloak. Here! Ripped him by the neck, and luckily he found amusement in it. Much later on, not at the time. And also, one of the Deathly Hallows shot on his cloak the third take, so it wasn't just me. I felt pretty lucky about that. Yeah.
So, we've talked about some of the stories that are going on behind the scenes. And what about in previous movies? Because, we are definitely very interested in the 6th movie. But this is our first chance to really get to know you a little bit better, as opposed to some of your castmates. So what are some of the more interesting, I was growing up on the set of Harry Potter things that happened?
No, to be honest with you, this is number 6 was one of the first films that I'd been there from start to finish. From the very start of the production to the end, which was really organic and healthy as an actor to sort of see it come together. Whereas before, I'd always sort of spent a week on set and 3 weeks at school, back at like completely normal school, and then back on set for a week. So I grew up off the set, whereas I know Daniel Rupert and Anna spent a lot more time on than off. I feel very grateful that I've got the same group of friends that I had before I started the filming, and they're still equally not interested in anything Harry Potter related. So that kind of works for me, because
It's a little refreshing.
it is. Even when I come home and I'm excited and I say, I did a scene with Alan today, they're like, Alan who? And it's like, but it's kind of nice for me. It helps keep one grounded, I think, because I'm not interested in their office job, they're not interested in my office job, so that kind of suits it, I think, to be fair. As far as, stories on set growing up, I don't know, I managed to avoid most of the drama. I hear there was a fair bit of, romance and, hormones were flying about. We were all young, and but I generally kept my professional cap on and didn't get involved with anything like that. So again, I'm sorry to be boring, but I can't reveal anything entertaining on that front, I'm afraid.
That's okay. So, what has your interaction with J.K. Rowling been like? How much have you actually had a chance to meet or get feedback, especially from her?
Sure. I confess, again, before the sixth film, I met her on the first film because she wanted to meet all the cast, naturally, which was, hugely exciting. She was, I have nothing but fabulous things to say about her. Not only what she has done for the world of literacy and film and creativity, she's really brought, she's stretching imaginations across the world, which is fantastic. But also as a person, she's the most down-to-earth person I think that you'll ever meet. So that's really nice. And there's a funny story actually. My best friend actually lives in the house that I used to live in, and that's the address that Warner Brothers have of where I live. Anyway, so he rang me up and said, "You've got a letter from some woman called Jo, and she says like you were good in the film or something." And I was like, "Okay." I just thought it might have been a fan letter they were passing on or something. And I go over there a couple of weeks later, and it's this beautiful purple velour envelope with a handmade. It looked really, really nice, and I thought, okay, this isn't a typical fan letter. And of course, at the bottom, it has J.K. Rowling's signature, handwritten. She had written me a letter saying that she'd seen the film before I'd ever seen it, and she was thrilled with the performance, and she was really, really happy with the way it turned out. So naturally, as an actor, that is the ultimate compliment. I've had the director's blessing, her blessing, and pretty much your blessing, I think. That makes me the happiest guy in the world. To satisfy the fans, I think, is the real main battle. And obviously, there are going to be people that have critique problems or whatever, but the general consensus is people were very happy with the film, so I'm over the moon about that.
Now, we are going to be taking some audience questions, and I would like to go ahead and get a line going in the back of the room. The way it'll work, just pretty much standard procedure, talk with people, make sure keep in mind, this is a family type show.
Be gentle, people, be gentle. Yeah.
And podcast.
Oh, is there size in the crowd there? What are you going to ask?
Yeah, that's why we want to go ahead and get started now. But while they're lining up, Meg, I'm ready to talk to you.
Wow. It's so bright. I actually got some sunglasses.
I know. Is there anything you can tell us about the upcoming installments of the movies?
There's actually been quite a big talk on set about not revealing anything. I know there's already been some
You're in it, right?
Some leakages of stuff like that. But the only thing I can really say is that from what I've read of the script, because they're not all 100% complete yet, they've really, they always try and stay loyal to the books, obviously, but this is one of the beautiful things about splitting the last book into two films, is that we have the freedom to actually stick to it 100% and make it as accurate as the books are. So I'm hoping that will please a lot of fans. I know a lot of people have had problems with missing bits out and adding bits in, so
you feel more of the book is making it in?
Yeah, again, obviously I read the book a while ago now, I sort of kind of stick to the script, because once you start...
So you have caught up?
Oh yeah. It's funny, man, for the first 2 years I think I was the only cast and crew member that wasn't a real die-hard fan. I'm not afraid to say that now, because I am a huge fan now. On Prisoner of Azkaban, I pretty much just started reading them solidly, and ever since then I've been getting them 12 hours on release and sitting there. You can't not. I want to know you want to know what's going to happen, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what's going to happen to you?
Exactly, well, yeah, not so much me, but I've signed up for these films. For all I know, Harry and Draco could get together. I want to make sure. That's nothing to cheer at. I hope she's not in the crowd, but someone came up to me earlier and asked me to sign. Yeah, okay, right there, right there. A naked picture of Daniel and I. That's not a real picture, man.
Yeah, let's save that for fanfic, guys, okay?
That never happened. I was worried if I signed it, it would put some sort of, truth behind it, and it definitely doesn't. Daniel and I are strictly platonic friends. There's nothing. No confusion, please.
We'll run with that story.
Excellent.
All right, looks like we are ready for questions.
Cool, far away. I confess I can't see you, but I should go hear you.
Hi, I'm Kenzie.
Hey, Kenzie.
This is my friend. Hi.
Hey.
And we have 2 questions for you.
Far away.
So, what is your craziest fan moment?
Oh, there's a few, I confess. One that sticks out is a gentleman who sent me a letter, or more of a binder of documents, in which that he had legally changed his name. This is a mid-40-year-old gentleman. He legally changed his name to Lucius Malfoy. Yeah, he had the full, and he wanted me to divorce my parents and for him to adopt me. Legally changed my name to Draco Malfoy, and I guess come live in his castle somewhere, I don't know. I was very grateful that my mum declined his. I was worried she was going to get rid of me for a second, but no, yeah. I hope he's not in the audience tonight. But that did kind of freak me out a little bit. It must be said.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you.
My question is, what's the most embarrassing moment overall?
My most embarrassing moment of all. Do I want to share that up here? I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Thank you. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't get embarrassed too easily. I don't want to speak too soon before I say something, make up some sort of catastrophe. But forgetting lines is a bad one. There actually was when I was younger, I think it was the second film, there was a line that I used to have a really bad stutter. It was a bit of a problem, and one of the lines I just could not get out. And I actually cried on set because I couldn't get this line out, man. And the first AD, the director came up to me and said, don't worry about it, man, because, sort it out, and, the line will be in the film, it's all good and all the rest of it. And they cut the line, so...
There's no crying in Hogwarts.
No, I learned from that mistake, get it right or get it cut out, so yeah, that was kind of embarrassing for me.
Hi, I've got a question.
Hey.
And I'm L.A. Moody, and I am a big contributor to the fan fiction site. So I've got a more literary question for you.
Okay.
And knowing that you can't reveal anything from the scripts of the last film, but obviously you've read the books now.
Of course.
Okay. Tell me, do you think Draco is redeemable as a good guy, or do you think he really has gone over body and soul to the dark side, even though he hesitated on the astronomy tower?
Sure. I think the fact that he's a Death Eater sort of puts him in a bad light. I don't think I'm going to be Harry's best man at his wedding or anything like that. Equally, I was really glad there's that beautiful moment, I think, at the very end of the last book where Draco and Harry, 20 years on, have a little moment. And me and Dan have already been talking about what that moment means and what it signifies about their relationship together. And I think somewhere deep down, Draco actually wants to help Harry. He kind of wants to be on the right side of the train, but he doesn't have a choice. I mean, he's well and truly, he doesn't even realise it, but I think that he wants to help. He just sort of does it. There's a few moments in the last book, as you all know, that Harry saves Draco and Draco saves Harry on a couple of occasions. So there's definitely something there, but he's probably past the point of saviour, really, to be fair. I'm not sure. I think there's a glint of hope for him somewhere in the distance, but it's a very small glint.
Hello, welcome to Dragoncon.
Thank you very much.
I was wondering, what was your reaction to Book 7? How did you feel when you were reading it?
It was great, man. It's cool. I'm always one of those ones that says, right, pace yourself. Give yourself a chapter a night. That way it can last. Doesn't work, does it? Yeah, I did it in like 24 hours straight. It was really cool. It was really nice to see how the stories have grown up in the respect that people die, which is pretty adult in some extent, and characters that you really got to like over the years. So I was really surprised, to be fair, about how many people how many people die or get maimed, get their ears taken off or whatever. I know all the cast are very excited about losing limbs and things like that. So it's kind of cool. And obviously there was I don't know if you remember, there was a big talk before about which one character was going to die, because they thought it's just one character was going to die, I guess, and or whether Harry was going to die, that was another one. I was kind of expecting maybe a climatic battle in which that Harry would kill me, but it's quite the opposite. He actually saves my life, so I think I prefer it that way, that he saves me rather than kills me. Thank you. Is that Voldemort? Dark Lord is among us. Didn't even touch the death, amazing.
Hello.
Hey.
You've done a great job in all the movies, but I think we all agree that this last movie had a lot of new complexities for you as an actor, as Draco is growing up and having to, he's becoming a Death Eater, he's having to do these horrible things.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you could talk about how you prepared for that as an actor and how mentally, psychologically you got into this more complex place in Draco's life.
Sure, that's a great question. I was terrified. I didn't think that I really was up for it at all. So much credit has got to go to David Yates for believing in me and saying from the start, I know you can do this, and I know exactly what I want from you, and I believe you can do it. And he brought me in before we started filming to have one-on-one read-throughs with Michael and Alan, which is very helpful for someone who's, terrified about doing the part, let alone terrified about doing it with some of these actors. Because, like you say, he's always been, I think, on purpose, quite a one-dimensional character in the first 5 books. So yeah, it was a completely different approach to the character. It was no longer the slimy git. It was trying to. I remember Dave, one of the first things he said was that I want to make you as, nastier than you've ever been, and yet at the same time I want to get some empathy for you, and I want to get the crowd to sympathise with you, just a touch, which I think he did beautifully, so a lot of it goes down to him, I think, for that. As far as getting in weird places, most of the time we spend off camera, we spend socialising and talking about TV or whatever, normal stuff. Whereas this film, I spent a lot of the time off camera just staring at a wall or just walking around in a sort of ghost-like fashion, because David's very keen on this sort of solemn, very eerie, his head's not really in with everyone else sort of thing. So it was kind of strange doing that, sort of ignoring people and just sort of walking around like a ghost. But it was good fun. I think it helped the performance at the end of the day. So again, big credit to David Yates, though, definitely. I couldn't have done it without him, without doubt.
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
I'm Stormlight02 from
Oh, hey.
Dragoncon.
Nice to see you. Finally, I can put a face to the name. Awesome.
Hey. We have a question about your music.
Cool.
Is there one topic in your music that you have not yet covered that you would like to do so in the future?
Yeah, actually, I was, there's loads of half songs that I never really end up finishing. I've written one about the studios and about the people at the studios, but again, I don't think that would be wise to publish that one. God, one topic. I don't know. I like to sing whatever comes to mind, really, but I suppose getting into some of the more deep and meaningful topics, I like to think my stuff's fairly light-hearted and nothing's very deep, no Sinead O'Connor or nothing. It's not going to move you or anything like that. So I don't know. Maybe in years to come, I could take it to a little bit of a deeper level, I guess. I don't know about specific topics yet. I don't know, but I appreciate the question.
Hi.
Hey.
I saw a picture of you recently covered in blood, and I'm a big horror movie fan. So
Cool.
tell me about your slasher film that I know you made.
Yeah. I got in a lot of trouble for putting that picture up on Twitter, man. One of the English tabloids picked it up and put it in the press to say it was from the new Harry Potter, which obviously, so the producers were screwing at me saying, you can't, this isn't, and I was like, it's nothing to do with Harry Potter, but yeah. Anyway, that particular picture was from a film that we just did called 13 Hours. I like to do it for the experience, it's really interesting working on a film that's $300 million a film, and then we're going to a film that's, $200,000. It's such a different world, We have the luxury of time on Harry Potter where we can really, the 7th book we're taking 15 months to shoot that, which is amazing. Whereas these other films they're full-on horror flicks with CGI, computer-generated effects and all that stuff, and yet they plan to only shoot it in 3 weeks for the sort of amount of money it costs to feed the Harry Potter set for one day. So it's amazing. Yeah, it's a really different. No rehearsals. They just jump in and see what happens. The rough consensus of it is pretty much 6 of us in a house getting murdered by a very strange creature. But it's a lot of fun, man. I do these things just as much for experience as I do to think that they're incredible. I haven't seen any of it yet, so whether or not it ever reaches the light of day, I'm not sure. But it was a great project to do, and yeah, I had a lot of fun being torn apart. I don't want to ruin too much, but yeah, I died pretty quickly in that one. Thank you.
Hello.
Hey. I can see. How tall are you, buddy? I see you. Great fun. I don't want to influence you too badly, but being a fake bully is great. I loved it. No, I'm actually a spokesperson for quite a few anti-bullying things, so I shouldn't condone it too much. But in film world, it's great fun, man. It's so nice to be able to play a character that's so contrasting from my day-to-day life. I like it. A lot of journalists say it. Are you very like your character? Obviously not. I mean, the guy's a little mini Hitler. Who could ever be as bad as him, really?
Coloring and everything.
Exactly, yeah. But I have a great time playing it. I know it's kind of cool that we're such good friends on set, and yet they roll cameras, and I just turn into everyone's enemy, man. So yeah, I have huge enjoyment playing the role.
One, thank you.
Thank you, buddy, man. Round of applause for the young gentleman. Come on. Yeah, most kids his age won't even. That's the other thing. We have kids all day coming around set, and they're all, hey, do we want to meet Daniel, Rupert, and Emma? And they're all, yay. And then they say, oh, we want to meet Draco. And I come out and they just, hey, come on, shake my hand. I'm a nice guy in real life, I promise. And they're just like, no. And they just sort of stand behind their parents' legs and refuse to. But I take it as a compliment. If I manage to scare a bunch of kids, I must be doing something.
Hi, sorry.
Sorry, I have to fill it. I can't help it. There's nothing funnier than being in an elevator and it's just silence, man. It cracks me up. Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
I was wondering, in the sixth movie, whenever it's seen, I hope, in the sixth movie when Bellatrix is like destroying the Great Hall and everything, and the look on your face was just, it actually made me cry every time I watch it. And I was just wondering, like, what do you think is really going through Draco's mind, and what was going through your mind when you were filming that?
It's one of the beautiful things about...
Can you hold on just a second?
I can.
She's hearing in pairs, and she can come up the front and be able to see your response.
Sure.
Okay.
It's one of the great things about having David Yates on set, because he was the one telling me, exactly, because we shot that scene quite early on. Well, one of the great things was seeing Helena do her smashing up at Hogwarts. She actually did it to Amy Winehouse, I think she had playing. Filled the Great Hall with Amy Winehouse. Ran down the table, started kicking, she was loving it. It was great fun. And then on a separate shot, it looks like we're all in the room at the same time, but we're actually not. On a separate shot later on with the wind machine and stuff, David was just putting on idea, this is home. And he's never going to be allowed back home. This is the place that's... Draco doesn't even realise it, I think, but this is it, really. This is goodbye to the place that's, second home. School is most people's second home, and I think it hits him then and there that I'm never going to be allowed back here, and I'm not welcome anymore back at these gates. So, and he doesn't want to be there. He wants to be on the other side, I think, deep down. It all comes to that moment in the astronomy tower. I think he realises that, hold on a sec, I'm not up for this at all, really. And of course, he hasn't been given the choice, The Muggle version of it is being given a loaded gun saying, shoot someone or we're going to shoot you in the head. And it's a real terrifying thing for a 16-year-old schoolboy. So I think most of it is down to the circumstances that he's in. It's a pretty terrifying scenario to be in for a young kid, I think. I'm glad we were just pretending.
Well, welcome to Dragoncon.
Hey, thank you for having me.
My question is what is the most outrageous rumor you've heard about yourself?
That Daniel and I are going out, yes. I don't know. Outrageous rumors. I don't know. To be truth, I don't keep my ear to the ground that much. So the last premiere I went to, all they were asking me was whether I was going to be in Twilight, and I had no idea of anything of that. And I said, I don't know, am I? You tell me. So that's a pretty, just to confirm, I'm not. Cool. But that was a pretty outrageous rumor, I guess. Yeah. I'm not following Rob's steps too much as I'd like to, but no, I'm not featuring just yet. Thank you.
Welcome back again, and
Thank
I was
you.
just wondering, what's your favorite Wizard Rock band, if you listen to it at all?
I suppose the obvious answer is Draco and the Malfoys. Is that a band? But I confess I haven't really listened to much of it. I didn't realise that it was quite taken so seriously. I think it's amazing that a whole genre of music has been inspired by a few books. 7 books.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, but it's incredible how many people have actually been inspired by the novels to create their own music. It's fantastic. Yeah, like I said, I confess I haven't really looked into it too much, but I hear these people are creating very good music and they have a lot of fans. So I'm hoping one day I'll get the chance to go and see the guys live. Are they here tonight? Any of them? Any Wizard Rock fans? Okay, thought I'd ask.
There are a lot of filters here, though, so
Okay.
you might run into some of that.
Cool.
Everyone else here said welcome to Dragoncon. I'm going to say welcome to fandom.
This is my first real experience of fandom, as you say. Yeah.
For
Kinda
mostly
cool.
harmless.
Yeah.
First, I have the one who changed his name legally to Lucius Malfoy and Draco Malfoy.
That's not you, is it?
No, I have to tell you, I know them, and I'm sorry you ever had to deal with them.
That's okay.
I had to say this.
It's all good. It was a brief laugh at a letter, and that was it. It wasn't too strange.
I had to deal with them personally, so you were lucky.
I am. If I'd met him, I'd have been terrified. It must be.
They wanted me to change my name to Harry and join the
It's issues.
But anyway, speaking of welcome to fandom,
Yeah.
I've been involved in Harry Potter conventions since 2005. I've been to a half dozen of them.
Cool.
After you're done with your run with the movies, with Warner Brothers kind of keeping a short leash, what they might be doing, would you ever come to a Harry Potter convention?
Well, yeah, I suppose, why not?
Because I'm telling you, if you do that, if you just ask people not to tackle you, this is a very respectful crowd. They would love to see you there.
Sure. I mean, one of the main reasons I think it's great for me to come here, and it's one of the great things I love about doing the premieres and the press and stuff, is that it really is a chance for us to say thank you. Not just from me, but from the 500 people that are working at these studios every day. Because none of us would be in with a job if it wasn't for you guys. And it's something that actually Daniel reminded me the other day, and without sounding like we're bragging, but he said that 500 people who live just outside London have created, well, obviously with Joe's great stories, have created one of the world's biggest movie franchises, and we're very, very proud of that, and it's a great thing. So yeah, we're all very pleased to be there, and the great thing for us is really to say thank you for all the support you've given us guys over the years. It's one hell of a feat of an achievement. Yeah, you deserve a round of applause. Seriously, thank you. Not just from me, but from everyone.
Okay. My name's Grace.
Hey Grace.
And I like to say happy birthday.
Sorry?
I'd like to say happy belated birthday because I saw you today, but I didn't know it was your birthday.
It's not. Where are the Felt Beats? Big shout out to the Felt Beats, and they made me the most amazing cake I've ever seen. You can't even call it a cake. It's like it's a feat of architecture and genius. It's amazing. But since then, every single person that's come up has said happy birthday, and I'm sorry, it's not actually my birthday today, but I appreciate what you were trying to do. But don't get me wrong. I've started the festivities early. It's great. Why not? Let's celebrate now. This is awesome. Exactly that. 22 days to celebrate. I like that. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, but as much as I appreciate your happy birthday, belated is not quite yet.
My question is, I'm a musician and I march up in Cumming, Georgia. And next year we're supposed to go to London. Is there any hot spots locally I should stop by if I'm able to sneak out?
Get a chance to sneak out. Dean Street. It's a known musical street, and they have these really it's a bit like Diagon Alley, where it's a really cobbled street, and they have these tiny ancient shops that these sort of old troll-like gentlemen live in there, and they're like masters of the guitar, and they just sit there all day playing their musical instruments. And whenever I have an audition or a meeting in town, I always kill an hour or two up there. So yeah, head up Dean Street definitely. I'm not a big clubber, so I just
Hey, my name's Andy.
Hey Andy.
Totally, happy to see you here.
Thanks for having me. I'm very excited.
But I have this one question. Since you're Draco in the Harry Potter, and you have these scenes where you have to be really serious. Have you ever just started laughing hysterically during one of those scenes?
Yeah, a few times to be fair. Rupert's the worst though, good lord. We have a system at the studios where you get red carded if you mess up takes, whether it's your phone or you don't forget your lines right or whatever, and it's £10 every time you get a red card, and all the funds go to charity at the end. And I think Rupert has put a few thousand in there every film. Once he starts, it's game over. You may as well just call it a day, man. And there's never any reason. He just starts cracking up for no reason. So it's great fun to be on the set with him, but it's actually gone beyond a joke. I think there's been times where he's really tried to stop himself from laughing. So I'm a very very tiny offender compared to Rupert.
Hi. First of all, I'd just like to say you're gorgeous and I love you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'd have to say the same, but I really can't see it.
Okay, and my question is, what was the most exciting and fun thing that you have ever shot with any movie?
It's an impossible, it's an impossible answer. I can never conjure up an answer to that one. But where do I start? I love, as much because we've had so many group scenes with so many people. It is actually really nice to get the opportunity to work sort of one-on-one-ish. So that scene, the astronomy tower we did at number 6, was really really cool to have all these great British actors, the cream of the crop really. Back in there is awesome. And also it's nice to have Jim Broadbent back. So for those who don't know, Jim Broadbent was my dad in The Borrowers, which was the first ever film I ever did. So it's so weird to see him 12 years later. He came back onto set, and it's really cool because these great British actors are always really nervous because they think we're like a massive family and is there place for me in your family? And he actually sort of latched onto me and was like, oh hi, do you remember me? And I was like, do you remember me, for Christ's sake? that was cool. And also this was the first film ever that there was a few scenes in the Room of Requirement and stuff where it was just by myself, which was really weird. No dialogue, no one else, just 60 crew members and me walking around weirdly with a bird or an apple. And I was really nervous. I've never been on set before by myself. It literally is all eyes on you. There's no one else to distract or take away from you. So I was really nervous, but I had a lot of fun with it. It's great fun to sort of be weird and eerie.
Hi, my name is Mia. I wanted to know, what is your favorite book in the series?
The last one, I suppose, in the respect of how epic the story is. I was always a big fan of Chamber of Secrets. I don't know why. Something about a Chamber of Secrets really appeals to me, and a big snake thing that kills people. That's a really cool concept for a story. So yeah, I was very keen on that one, definitely. Keep calling him Daniel. Harry and I had a cool one fight where we had wires coming out of us, and we were doing some pretty cool flips and stuff. So that has nothing to do with the books, is it? Sorry, but yeah, no, the Chamber of Secrets is probably my favourite. Yeah.
Not to be too personal, but do you have any siblings, and your parents, were they real supportive in the beginning when you first started acting and you said, Mom, Dad, I want to act, or? Yeah,
actually, you've reminded me of a very, massive thank you to my mom, really. I get teary at the thought of it, but she is really, without her, this would be nothing. She's been one of those great parents who never forced me to do anything. She wasn't one of those go on, love, do your best sort of thing. I always wanted to do it. I always wanted to go to these auditions. She used to convince me to go for these auditions in exchange for a McDonald's at the end of the day. So she knew how to, oil the machine. But again, she's always been very supportive. My 3 older brothers have always been great to me. Again, none of them have any interest in Harry Potter, but it works. It's good, man. Because, it keeps us all grounded. As far as they're concerned, I have a complete normal job, which is really cool. And again, going back to my mum, she gave up her job for 6 months, forever really. She quit her lifelong dream of a job to come out to Malaysia with me for 6 months to do Anna and the King when I was 12 years old. They have these great caterers on these sets, obviously, and at that age, all I wanted was a KFC. So every day she went to go and get KFC for me and bring it back in taxis. And quite ironically, everyone on that set got food poisoning from some local thing, except me, because I was eating KFC. So that's my bit of advice for you guys. Everyone says, that stuff will kill you. And I'm like, no, man, it's keeping me alive. But yeah, I mean, I wish she was here today just so I could give her a big thank you, because it would be nothing without her, definitely. And my dad, shout out to dad as well. He's more behind the scenes, isn't he? He's working to make sure that we got food on the table and stuff like that. But nothing would be possible without those two, obviously. I meant physically there. Yeah. I've had a nightmare. The last two panels, man, it's been got into some very lewd comments, and yeah. I started mentioning Daniel and I and tension in the bathroom, and it got very getting our wands out. It got very some real misunderstanding or something. That's why I was very particular with my words today when voicing that thing.
Hi, I'm Taylor.
Hey.
If you've heard of it, do you watch Potter Puppet Pals and what's your favorite one?
Do I watch what, sorry?
Potter Puppet Pals.
I confess, actually, the last time Daniel and I were on set, and thanks to the iPhone, we were checking it out together, actually, yeah. There's a lot of things on YouTube. I mean, it's amazing what people seem to be inspired by these books to create. I mean, it's fantastic, really. Anything creative is good, but someone asked me yesterday, were you upset that you weren't featured as a puppet? And I was like, nah, I was quite happy to be left out of that particular production. There's a musical as well, and then everyone's seen that. We had a lot of fun looking at that stuff on set, man. It's great fun.
What's your favorite movie, and what's your favorite part about that movie?
I confess it has to be number 6, really, only because that's the one where I spent the most time really there, sort of developing relationships and stuff like that. Favorite part of it, my favorite scene actually in the 6th one, probably an overlooked scene I think, but when Harry and Dumbledore go to try and convince Slughorn to come back to Hogwarts, and Slughorn's the chair, with the unicorn blood and stuff. I just think it's comedic genius, man. I think Jim Broadbent and Michael Gambon are two of the funniest British gentlemen you'll ever meet. Gentlemen, sorry. So yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed that scene in that film, definitely.
Hi.
Hey.
What do you like the best about being able to play Draco Malfoy?
Well, it's nice, man, because a lot of people, I get to vent. I build my day-to-day frustrations, whether it be traffic or losing my keys or someone annoying me about something. I get to keep it all in. The moment they say rolling cameras, it's like, right, I can release it now. I can really start being a vicious bastard. So I have a lot of fun doing that, releasing that that side of it. It's great fun in that respect. Thank you for the question, man.
Hi, I'm Madison.
Hey.
What was your favorite spell in the movie?
Well, even though I suffered bad from it, the Septum Sempra spell is pretty cool. Yeah. And that was the first time I ever got to wear. I've always wanted blood. I don't know why, but young actors we always want blood, and they hooked me up with this fake prosthetic chest, in which they pumped blood through tiny little cracks in my chest that sort of leaked into the shirt and then sort of went into the water. And I remember it being in the water, doing the whole thing. And whenever they said cut, I was like, yeah, man, look at this. And I remember giving my phone to some of the people that helped me out. I was like, take pictures, man, take pictures. That's actually, it reminds me of, it's from going back a while, but into it's the third film, third film with Buckbeak and the whole him attacking me thing. And they had, for Robbie Coltrane to look huge, they make models of us looking tiny. So they built a sort of basic replica model of me, just a tiny bit smaller. And I had so many pictures of this dummy, like this poor dummy was like this in pain. And it was me like, and nothing terrified my mum more than this fake dummy in pain, looking like dead, lying on the floor. I wanted to take it home with me and chuck it under some car wheels and that.
Take it in the bed some night when you need it.
Yeah, sure. Terrifying my mum, yeah. I think they're like £70,000 each though, so they kindly rejected me on that one.
Hi Tom, this is Fiesta Laurie from Feltbeats.com.
Hey, big shout out to Felt. For those who don't know, Feltbeats.com do so much for me fan-wise. I don't have an official fan base, a fan site that I personally run, but Feltbeats.com do it all for me beautifully. So a a big thank you to all their efforts. Thank you. Sorry, continue.
We're taping this question and answer session, and we're wondering if you could do a shout out for our beloved administrator, Misha, because today is her birthday.
Serious?
Yes.
Over here? Big happy birthday, Misha. I mean, I know you started this all off now, and you've helped so many people along the way, and some great things have happened. I mean, I know you've changed people's lives. I mean, far from mine, but people that you work with and stuff. So, happy birthday, and again, a big thank you. And I can't wait to meet you. It's been so long now. I want to put a face to the name. Thank you. Is that okay? Cool.
Have about 10 minutes at this point.
Cool.
If you could be any other character in the movie, what would that be?
Yeah, people ask me that one. Hermione? I don't know. I use that joke all the time.
You keep coming back to that.
I know, it's not that good, is it? I don't know. I really couldn't picture playing anyone else. I suppose, Lucius's son. But again, that's kind of a cop-out of an answer, really, isn't it? I don't know. There's no one I think I could really embody else. I enjoy playing him far too much, really. And the blonde, I've got kind of attached to it over the years. I don't think Ginger or Brown would work as well. I don't know. We'll see.
Hi, I might be the only one in this room that doesn't know, but I listened to your music on YouTube. Absolutely adore your voice, and was wondering if you have a CD or any plans for CD.
Yeah, there's some stuff available on iTunes. I mean, I was very skeptical about putting it out there, really. The last thing I want to do is I'm not trying to branch out of careers or anything like that. It's just, I put the video on YouTube for a friend of mine who lives abroad under a different name, with the hope that, nothing's ever going to happen with it. It didn't. It got leaked pretty quickly, and just due to the real positive response that I got, I felt like I wanted to share some more. I record it anyway for my own pleasure, so it's not a case of me making it for other people. I make it for myself. It's just a case of whether I want to share it or not. People have been so nice about it that I feel like I want to share it. And I'm the first to admit there's 1,000 wrong chords and bum notes and crap recordings and stuff like that. But I think that's one of the things I like about doing it is that it's very, very raw. A lot of people have said, why don't you go into the studio and why don't you get like a professional band? But I don't want to do that, man. Most of the songs are written in about an hour, recorded in the next hour, and then it's great. It's amazing that people here have heard it. It really kind of not freaks me out, but it's amazing that people listening to something that I've made in my bedroom. It took me 2 hours, and people are listening to it halfway around the world. So it's a real honour for me to do that. One of the big things I'm big on is like leaving something behind. Leaving something behind when it's all over. And music is a real personal thing to me. So I'm happy to share it.
Hi.
Hey.
I was just wondering, who inspires you to act on or off the set?
There's so many, it really is. I confess a lot of it comes from on-set performances. Jason helped me out a lot, Jason Isaacs on the second film. He gets a lot of lady love. I'm going to try and convince him to come back next year. I think he'll be game. So yeah, I mean, he helped me out with the whole evil thing. He does this great thing where he's this charming gentleman and he's talking to you in this way, and they say action, it just turns into this vile person instantly. It's kind of scary to see it happen. So most actors take like 3 or 4 minutes to get into character, but he just snaps straight into it. And the same with Helena, brilliantly. She's such a polite, lovely lady. She turns into a complete psycho as soon as they roll. And everyone's just in awe. Like, I see the guy holding the mic, the boom, is just sort of like wide-eyed, like, oh my god. It's terrifying, it really is. And for such a lovely lady to be so scary. But no, it's great fun to see that.
This may be a question more for the writer or the director, but I'm hoping they may have given you some insight.
Sure.
I take my adaptations of books very seriously, and I think one major point that was in the book was that Harry couldn't master nonverbal spells, and that was the reason he couldn't defeat Snape in the end. But in the bathroom scene, you were both going at nonverbal spells, and I was wondering why that decision was made not to have that in the movie.
Massive confession here. I have no insight. I have no input at all in regards to the decisions. There are. They're definitely made strategically. They're not just them just said, oh, let's just do it. There will be a reason. I confess I don't know why. it's kind of difficult for me as well, because I read the books when they come out, and then 2 years later we get a script. So it's kind of hard to remember exactly, specifically, you know, how they correlate and how they differ. But if you bring a book onto the set, it causes mayhem, because people, you know, they have references and then they want to, they want to change things, and so I personally feel it's not my real place to step in and say, I don't think this is right. And as much as I have an input on my character, I don't want to start telling the director what I think is right and wrong. So I get the script and I do my best I can with what I get, really. But I'll put it forth for them and see what they say. I'm intrigued now. Thank you.
Okay, hi. I was just wondering, can we hear your American accent you've been working on?
It's not getting there too quickly, I confess. But to do it in front of you all now would be a shocking, I'm worried that someone would see it, a casting agent would see it and say, no man, we'll rule him out completely. But it's great actually being here, because it gives me, it's nice to hear it all the time. The more I hear it, the more it seems to be combination. I'm using a lot of your phrases already, man. I'm calling everyone buddy. Hey buddy. So yeah, it doesn't take long for it to rub off on me, to be fair.
Okay,
I
hi.
appreciate you asking. Hey.
I'm Laura, and
Hey, Laura.
I just want to say before I get started, I'm a really big fan of Draco Malfoy. And I
Thank
think
you.
you are awesome, and you're one of my favorite actors.
Rock on. Thank you very much.
My question is, like, what do you like to do when you're not filming?
A lot of people seem to think that we're very, you know, what do you do when you're not at school? I assume you watch TV or read a book or listen to music. I mean, fairly normal stuff. I hate to sound boring, but yeah, pretty much that. I mean, obviously, we read a lot of scripts that get sent our way or whatever. I enjoy doing that. I'm not a big eater, so I don't do a lot of cooking, I confess. Again, I'm an awful cleaner, so my house is a little bit messy. I probably should do more of that. But yeah, I don't know. What does every other 21-year-old do, you know? Have it. Sorry? I have the odd beer with my friends, yeah, I confess, but we're not getting plastered on a set every day or anything like that. Yeah, just normal activity. I love to drive, so, you know, I drive quite a bit. A lot of friends live miles away from me, so I have to do lots of driving.
Hi, I'm Julia.
Hey, Julie.
You mentioned a Harry Potter musical earlier.
Yeah.
And I was wondering what you thought of how Draco Malfoy is portrayed in that.
I confess, I don't have a particularly good recollection of quite how it went. I'm gonna have to remind myself when I get out of here. But is it a good thing or a bad thing? I don't think I've even seen the bit where Draco comes in. Is it good?
Yeah, she rolls around on the floor a lot.
He rolls around the floor a lot? She? Okay.
Now see them again.
Yeah, I do. I think I saw a completely separate musical. Yeah, no, I will have to check that out, and I'll leave a comment or something like that. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry guys, but we're gonna have to close it up now. So everybody, big round of applause for Tom.